Hey YouTube, Danger Waits here, playing some more Baldur's Gate 3. I was doing some more build crafting now that I can, since I'm level 12. I finally got to Act 3. I've gotten a lot of items, amassed many items in my storage, and I want to come up with a really cool monk build that I had in mind. It's something that I'm going to give a try out on another character. Monk is one of my favorite classes, if not my top favorite class in the game. It just feels so fun, and honestly, it felt like a different game when I was playing with Monk, so it was so cool. But I want to do Monk and Barbarian. I want to try to use the Rage as much as possible, but it's kind of seems like it inhibits a lot of class building when Rage doesn't allow you to use spells and concentrations, which, I mean, understandable. Somebody who's in just flying anger would not be trying to use a spell or a concentration or remember that they could concentrate. But alas, here we are. Something that can utilize it, in my opinion. I say opinion because I haven't fully tested it out yet, but I think I have. I couldn't remember when. But I do remember seeing that Monk could still use all its Monk abilities while raging because it's not like a spell. I think if you went way of the four elements, then you probably wouldn't be able to use any of the spells. But other than that,
Hey YouTube,
you can still
Danger
use all
Waits
your Monk
here.
stuff as way of the open hand. And I just think it's such a cool little mixture. Barbarian is really cool too. So let's jump right into it. Now for the class to start off with, I would recommend starting off with Barbarian because you do get different proficiencies when you start off with a certain class rather than start off with Monk, because with Monk you don't really get any proficiencies at all other than like some weapons. If you start off with Barbarian, you could get medium armor, light armor, couple weapons, but all of those weapons would then be considered monk weapons if you're already proficient with them as you go into monk. For stats, I was thinking we would do something like high strength, high dexterity, so 17 strength, 16 dexterity, about 13 constitution, and I put 10 into wisdom and charisma just so that you wouldn't have too many disadvantages when doing skill checks while talking. You could probably take another one off of Constitution and put it another 10 into Intelligence. Skill proficiencies, kind of whatever. Any race you want to start off with can really be whatever as well. Then we just go into the leveling process. As we level up, I'd like to do more so 5-7 split between Barbarian and Monk because I think it's a lot of utility and things that you can get out of Monk that you get around 6 and 7. You could really do a 6-6, but I thought 5-7 kind of mattered a little more to lean more so on the Monk. You could go Wild Magic. That is fun. I really like Wild Magic Barbarian. It's probably one of my best Barbarian subclasses to me. But for this, we would go Wild Heart. And I really like Wild Heart too because it can come up with a lot of different passives and abilities and other things that it can do that helps the barbarian a lot more so than wild magic, because with wild magic I think all of those are kind of helpful, but they help in such random ways, which I think is the gimmick between it. But with wild heart you have a more consistent advantage on the things that you're trying to do because you can pick and you can change it around however you want. uh I think elk, wolf, and raven are really cool. Actually, all of these little bestial hearts are really amazing, but you could pick whichever one you want. I went with the eagle. My bad. I went with eagle heart because of the fact that you'd get a little dive attack, which I think is just such a nice addition with you being able to do all the many other unarmed attacks with monk. So we move on with leveling. Level 4. You now get your first feat. You can rearrange your bestial heart if you want. I would say eagle. This is where I would go grab Tavern Brawler. Tavern Brawler adds your strength modifier twice to your damage, whether it's improvised, thrown, or unarmed. Obviously, that's why we're doing it. Now, with Tavern Brawler, you can have dex and strength, and the damage would add to a dex modifier, even if Dex was your highest. Now, do not quote me on that. I tried looking up, don't quite understand it. I think it does, and you can probably look at it in the battle log, but that's what I got from it. And I just, every time I get it, I see that my character gets stronger. So then I usually have Dex first in terms of it's higher. So we're level 5, you get extra attack. Now, this is where we break off into Monk. So with Monk, you'll get your first additional key points and stuff as you level up. You get to level 2, you get the little first 3 Monk abilities. Level 3 is where you pick your specialization. Like I said, you could go Way of the Four Elements and do some magic stuff, but remember that Rage doesn't allow you to do magical abilities. But truth be told, you probably could, because I don't really know if Way of the Four Elements monk things are considered magic, but we are going Way of the Open Hand just to be more of a stagnant, because I kind of know these things, at least in terms of Way of the Open Hand. But I'm going to check that out. Way of the Four Elements. Way of the Shadow, I'm going to make a build around this that I'm going to test out first, because I don't really know anything about Way of the Shadow, and every time I look it up, I don't see anything for it. But it seems fun. Anyway, Way of the Open Hand. We go into level 4. Now I'm going to pick ability improvement. You can take up 2 things in terms of ability improvement if you want to. You could go strength and get it to 20 if you have the stat spread that I have. Or you could put the 2 into dexterity and get 18 dexterity. You could do that too. But at the moment, for my character, for Minthara, I already have some things into her strength that makes her strength 20 with 18, or even 21, I may think. So I'm going to put Dex up to 18. That way I'll get us some more initiative, and she'll do some more damage, which I think is just going to add up for her. Remember, you have Ethel's hair, and you can get a potion that does some extra strength points too. So level 5, you get extra attack and you get stunning strike, which are really cool. Level 6, just some more additional keys, but now you can add some little flavors to your attacks. We have the body and stillness of mind and stuff like that. These are really cool because you toggle them and you just do an extra amount of damage on your character with unarmed attacks. So you wouldn't necessarily need a glove, but if you did have some gloves, it'd be cool too. Level 7 is level 12 for us, so we get evasion, which is a really cool monk feature. I think it just helps you with saving throws and dodging. And stillness of mind helps you with some healing. But that is our level 12 barbarian monk. With gear, there's a lot of many things that you could do with gear. You get like a lot of the cool stuff in Act 3, honestly. This vestige of soul rejuvenation is really cool because whenever somebody misses, you can use a reaction to do an unarmed strike upon them, and you get a plus to your armor class. You also can do 1 through 4 hit point regen just from succeeding a saving throw, I'm pretty sure. Boots. I would use the swear say boots. I actually went to go look for these. I'll probably just skip over that, but I'd probably use the swear say boots to just add some more jumping and some athletics. Something to help out. You can really use any boots that you want, but For gloves, if you are in Act 3, gloves of soul catching are just OP, in my opinion, in terms for Monk. There's so many gloves you can actually really use for Monk, but these are amazing because you can do 1 through 10 force damage. Not too many things are immune to force damage. You could get some health regen, and you get Constitution. You get +2 to Constitution, which is really cool. So you even get some extra health just for having those on. It's such an amazing slot to gloves that I wouldn't see myself using anything else. Ring of Protection, Armor Class, and Saving Throw. You can get this for giving the Idol of Sylvanas to Mole in Act 1 at the Grove. And then we have the Risky Ring. This gives you advantage on attack rolls, but you get disadvantage on saving throws. I use this because, especially when you're starting off, I think you get this around Act 2, but especially when you're starting off, it's really hard to hit with a monk because you don't really have anything to help you attack. But we move on to the amulet. The Sentient Amulet, you get this in the Underdark at Grimforge, and it's right next to the Grimforge. You have to do a long quest that spans out all the way to Act 3. Once you get to Act 3, you can finish this quest, and you would kill the spirit and or do not take the bargain that he wants, as in his curse, and you would get this amazing amulet, like best in slot amulet, I think, for Monk. Key restoration and quick little shatter, so you can even do a little spell with it, which I think may even level up with you. It's just for extra key restoration, and having an extra attack is really cool. For helmets, you could go with many things. Hat of the Uninhibited Kushigo. I'm pretty sure when you do an unarmed attack, it gives you a spell save DC, so I think your spells would have more chance to actually attack. But I think this kind of better on a Way of the Four Elements. What you can slot that out with, though, is the Bone Spike Helmet, which I think is another Act 3 piece of equipment that you could get. The Bone Spike Helmet is so cool, and I think I'm definitely going to use this for this build. You can get a menacing attack as if you was a Battle Master, and you get 1 through 8 psychic damage, and you also have a chance to inflict fear upon people when raging, and you get +2 intimidation. So your intimidation checks even help out a lot. It's just it's just a really cool piece of gear that I think is completes the set. I think this build is going to be really fun. I really do hope you try it out. I'm going to try it out, especially. I'm going to try out some more with the Way of Shadow as well. It's so much to do now that I can really see how builds come out. It's just going to be so much fun. But thank you for joining me in this little build video. I do hope you enjoy it. I'm going to get better at these. I'm going to try my best to come up with some new little fun ideas. But until then, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Later.